Boy, it's cold. Hello lovelies, welcome back to the channel. I am actually going to freeze to death. This is awful. Oh, I have to say though, I've been wearing this makeup since about 5 o'clock this afternoon, afternoon, in between, and it is now midnight and it has lasted surprisingly well. I'm kind of impressed. But we're here today for a Q&A, and today's Q&A theme is music. We are answering all of your music-y questions. So I've got a whole bunch here. I tried to pick ones that seemed fun / ones that lots of people asked, like you know, if everyone asked something in the same kind of realm, I included that. I'm going to get through as many as I can, but you know, there are a lot and we only have so much time, so I'm going to do my best. But let's get right into it. Question number 1 that was asked by a number of people is, what kind of music do you listen to when you're sad? I can see my breath. I'm one of those people who is stupid, and whenever I'm sad, I make it worse by listening to even more sad music. Oh yes. And I have to say, if you ever need a good cry, like the best / worst song for it, it's actually a country song. It's one of like the probably maybe like 5 country songs that I actually enjoy. But yeah, it's a country song and it's called Whiskey Lullaby. And like, I'd known the song for years before I ever saw the video, and the song already messed me up every time. The first time I heard it was in science class. Our teacher was playing music and he put on that. I guess no one else was like listening to the lyrics because no one else seemed affected, but I was sitting there like so yeah, it was already very sad, and then like years later I found the video on YouTube and I'm like, oh cool, it got worse. So yeah, if you ever need to cry your eyes out, that's one. And then another one would be Perfect by Pink. I forgot to reattach my doodad. It kept catching while I was streaming. Let me just yeah, another would be Perfect by Pink. That song in itself, just the lyrical content and like the message of the song and stuff, I'm pretty sure would probably make me cry anyway. But on top of that, it was played at one of my friend's funerals. I know that sounds weird. The funeral of one of my friends whenever I was younger, and so like for a long time, you know, there was that association as well. So I love that song and I wish I could listen to it more often, but I can't unless I'm willing to sob a lot. So yes, those would be my 2 top like I'm sad songs. Next up is a song that has a very vivid memory. I have like 2 that it's not like a single like one little memory, but it's like a collection of memories around the time period. So number 1 would be Strawberry Gashes by Jack Off Jill, and that reminds me of like, you know, my little baby bat days and stuff, and specifically of this. Alright, so there's this game that I played, and like people could build their own little like worlds or realms within this game, and like the realm that I used to play in was this really cool, weird little like spooky world, and I really enjoyed it. But it was when I was really young. I was like 11 or 12, I think it must be about 12. And the game was for Cadia. I didn't know what furries were. I just like, I was like, oh cool, this fun little game where you make like a cool little animal character and you go around, and per 12-year-old me saw some things that should not be seen. But there was this one little spooky world that wasn't horrifying, and yeah, I used to very much enjoy that, and I associate that song for some reason with that. And yeah. Oh, and then the other one is This Corrosion by Sisters of Mercy. And like, that's just like a whole really pleasant collection of memories. And I still remember why I decided to listen to it. I'm rereading the book right now, as I'll have to see, but I was reading Lost Souls at the time, and I don't actually remember if the Sisters of Mercy are ever mentioned in that book, so I don't know what in the midst of that made me like, let's listen to them. But it does have very much like, you know, like scenes like goth clubs and stuff and all of that and stuff, and it like, you know, it kind of spurred me on to look up some stuff. I was like, oh, Sisters of Mercy, that's a band that I've like been meaning to listen to for years and I've never got around to. So I went on YouTube and I clicked the first song I found, and it was This Corrosion, and I instantly like fell in love, and I was like, oh my god, how did I not know about this? How did no one tell me about this? How have I missed this all these years? So yeah, that's how I found that song. And so then that song and the book just have this little collection of like the summer that I was reading that book. It was a really lovely like sunny summer. I remember like times sitting on my bed next to the window looking out and the sun shining in and sitting reading that and the song playing, or sitting out in my garden with all my blankets with Sebastian and like sitting reading again. Just like all my memories around that song and like that time period are just really like warm. They feel like warm sunshine on my skin. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I have like a really strong attachment to that song because it just reminds me of a whole just nice little like you know? What is my first music memory? The first song that I ever remember being like obsessed with, it was like my favorite song, it was like my song, was when I was like really, really young. It's such a vague memory, I must have been very young. Weirdly, it's Poison by Alice Cooper. I don't know, like, it's my mom liked all sorts of different music, and for some reason the first song I remember, like, you know, personally being like obsessed with, I was like, this is my favorite song, was Poison by Alice Cooper. So yeah. Are there any genres you can't stand? So like, I like most types of music. I would say generally I'm pretty open, but I have to say a lot of like newer music is not my thing. I cannot cope with like any form of mumble rap. Anything with like Lil or Xanax or anything like that in the name, I'm probably going to hate it. I hate mumble rap. And like Snoop Dogg's impression of mumble rappers is just so spot on to me. That's what it all sounds like. So I'm sorry if any of you enjoy it, but I can't do it. I don't like it. Whatever genre D'Anford would be, can't be coping with that. Not my thing. And then a lot of types of like rap and stuff. There'd be like some old rap that I can kind of enjoy, but in general, like most rap today, no. A lot of modern pop, no. Like, just there's a lot at the minute that I'm like, absolutely not. So yeah, there's definitely some. I like a lot of music. Like I said, I can even get in on the odd country song, but I can't be doing mumble rap. Similar topic, bands everyone assumes you like, but you don't. Motionless in White, I don't dislike them, it's just they don't really do anything for me, but everyone assumes that I'd be like super into them, but I am very neutral on them. I have no strong opinions, but I don't listen to them. Youngblood, not my thing. Ghost Man, definitely not my thing. Kind of anything in that realm. I remember at one point when like Melanie Martinez was really big, loads of people are like, oh my god, you need to listen to this, it is so your thing, you're going to love it, and I listened to it and I was like, it just wasn't for me. So yeah, there's definitely a lot. Again, just sort of like a lot of the newer bands that happen to have like a dark aesthetic people tend to assume I'm going to like, but the music just isn't my thing. So guilty pleasure music, I don't know. I think at this point we're kind of beyond guilty pleasure music with me, because like my terrible taste in music is well known. You know, I have like some good taste, but I also have a lot of awful taste. So yeah, there's like a lot of like cheesy pop, like 80s music, you know, like power ballads, all of that. I am not guilty about any of it. I love that crap. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm trying to think if there's like any song that like I wish I didn't like, but I do. I can't. One might exist, but I can't think of any. Generally, I'm like, yeah, I love this shit. Band that you've tried to get into and just can't. Here they come to burn my goth card. Bauhaus. I've tried. I'm just not into it. I actually like Peter Murphy's own stuff, I guess. I came across that on Spotify. I don't know when he made that. Well, I haven't looked it up. It was just like, hey, you might like this, and I was like, sure, and I actually really enjoy it. So I don't know what that is, but I like that. But yeah, I've tried to get into Bauhaus, and it's just not my thing. I think the one song from them that I really enjoyed was a cover, like Ziggy Stardust, something in that realm. But yeah, I've tried. Maybe someday, but so far it hasn't happened. I think I like the music, but I'm not, because I don't know what song it was I tried listening to the other day, but the whole way through, like while it was coming in, I was like, okay, yeah. But then as soon as the vocals came in, I was just like, no, it just wasn't my thing. A band or artist that you like that people would be surprised by. Well, like I said, I mean, like, I'm known for liking nonsense, but I guess like, I don't know, like Dolly Parton maybe? Would that be surprising? I don't listen to a lot of her stuff, but like 9 to 5 is a frickin' bop. Jolene, can happily sing along to that. And what's the one? She did it with someone. Kenny Rogers? Am I wrong there? Islands in the Stream. Whatever that song is, I love that song. I don't know why, but I really enjoy that song. So yeah, that might be surprising. That's kind of like outside of the realm of like the darker stuff and the cheesy pop. It's like country, haha! At concerts, do you like to be in the pit or safely off to the sides? I would literally rather just not fucking go to a show than be in the pit. I don't go to concerts to get punched in the face. I just don't. That's not what I want to watch. I want to enjoy the music. I don't want to get injured. I've seen so many people online say things like, oh, you claim to like metal, but then like you complain that shows are too violent. You're not a real fan. I'm like, fuck you! No, I am here to listen to music and watch the band, not to have my teeth knocked out. That is not why I'm here. What does that have to do with being a fan of the music? You enjoy what you hear. It's not the getting punched in the face and kicked in the groin that anyone enjoys. If it is, then that's a whole different thing, but Do not tell people they can't be fans of a band because they don't want to get hit. There's like one band I can't even remember who they are, but I keep seeing them on Twitter and I only see their name mentioned whenever someone's been horrifically injured, and I'm like, yeah, that seems like fun. Especially in America where you have to pay for healthcare. That seems like a good fun night out. Oh, it's just not for me. My wonderful friend Nemi asked, what is your favourite Disney villain song and why? She knows fine rightly what my favourite Disney villain song is, but I'm going to talk about it. My favourite Disney villain song of all time is Hellfire from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, sung by Tony J. That is the one in the movie, Tony J is who sings that. Everything about it is perfect. It captures everything. For one, it gives me instant goosebumps every time. Between his like voice, the music in the background, and like the lyrical content, and the fact that it comes in right after Heaven's Light, so you have this really sweet emotional song from like Quasimodo, you know, singing about like how, you know, he felt like he'd been touched by Heaven's Light, and it like everything's so beautiful, and it transitions straight into Hellfire where like Frollo's like, you know, freaking out over like his lusty feelings for Esmeralda and stuff, and like, you know, if he can't have her then, you know, she'll have to be burned as a witch and all of that. And it's just like, it's so interesting to see, like, the whole movie has the sort of themes of like the contrast between like people can be of the same religion but have like wildly, like drastically different ways of expressing that. So I find that really interesting, and like I said, just like, it's so creepy, and it's like a real world kind of villain, you know? Like Maleficent, yeah, scary, she turns into a dragon, whatever. But like Frollo is just like, you know, a corrupt man in power, and that is like a very scary real world thing. Like the bit where Frollo like comes up behind Esmeralda and like sniffs her neck, that makes my skin fucking crawl every time. I want to like rip my own skin off from it. So just, yeah, that whole song, like all the scenes, the bit like where you can see Esmeralda like dancing in the fire and he's like lamenting over like his feelings and stuff, just all of it is perfect. So I've had a lot of questions of best bands I've seen live, and even more weirdly of worst bands. So in terms of best, I'd say the best like smaller gig that I've been to was actually Lordi, honestly. Just because like their whole stage show was like so well put together, their crowd interaction was really great, and they played well, but it was kind of everything else that really made it for me. Plus I enjoyed that show because I was like right at the very front, so the whole way through I was kind of like able to really interact with the band. I got to like fist bump the guitar player like in the middle of it and stuff, and like they'd be throwing out picks and then they'd hand me one and I was like, thank you, and they handed me one of the drumsticks and stuff, so I was like, woohoo! So yeah, I loved that show, that was great. And then in terms of just the most like impressive show I've ever seen, my mum and I went to see Roger Waters' The Wall live, and I can't even. That whole show was incredible because it was just so much went into it, like the visuals and everything. There were so many elements I wouldn't even know where to begin. And like, I grew up loving The Wall. I used to watch The Wall whenever I was a kid. For some reason my mum had it on VHS and I found it. I was like, I'm going to watch this, and I used to watch it all the time. I watch it now and I'm like, how am I not more fucked up? But yeah, I used to love that, so like going to see that live was amazing. Like I said, just all the visuals, all of the aspects, like the wall being torn down, all of it was incredible. If you can find it on YouTube, what year would that have been? Maybe like 2013? I'm not sure, but yeah, if you can find any videos of The Wall live, we went to see them in Dublin. Honestly, just check it out to see what I mean, because it was mad, absolutely crazy, so cool. Definitely like one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. Oh, and then worst band live, I don't think I've ever been to a show where it's been, anything has happened that it's been bad enough that I've been like, they were terrible. Like I couldn't give you a worst band. Like the worst I've had happen was like at smaller like local band gigs. Certain things haven't been great, but it wasn't even the band's fault. It's more been like issues with the mixing, and like, you know, they haven't put the vocals up high enough so I can't actually hear any of the vocals and stuff, like, you know, little things like that. But that's not even like the band's fault, that's just the sound wasn't done well. So I've never seen anyone where I've been like, that was shit, you know, so I guess I've been lucky. If you could wake up tomorrow and perfectly play any instrument, which one would it be? I go back and forth on this a lot, but I think ultimately if I could like be perfect at playing anything, it would probably be piano. I would love to be able to just like play literally anything on the piano. I love watching other people play. It's just so interesting to me, so I would love to have that skill. This one's a bit on the morbid side, but if you could listen to any song before you pass away, which one would it be? And I'm not sure if they mean like just like, you know, one last chance to listen to a song before it happens, or like, am I listening to it kind of as I'm dying? Because if I had to like choose a song to listen to while I'm dying, I feel like Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd would kind of be like pretty much perfect for that. Like, I don't know, it just, My mum just texted me. What was I saying? I was like telling her to search her house for a broom so she could try this thing that amazed me. She's finally found one. What was I saying? Comfortably Numb. Yeah, like, you know, if you had to pick a song to die to, I feel like that one would kind of be the perfect exit. A song that always brings you joy every time you hear it. Raised by Bats by Voltaire. If you need cheering up, and especially, you know, like if you're an alternative kid, like, you know, you've been like put down for your style and stuff, listen to Raised by Bats by Voltaire, because it is just so like upbeat and happy and heartwarming and like, yeah, fuck everyone. Like it's just that, and it always makes me smile and makes me feel like really bouncy. So that one. Here's a fun one. Does your music change with your style? Yes, and I don't really know which one influences the other. Oh my god. I don't know which one influences the other, but it's definitely a thing. Like, if you see me dressing in my like super cute like pink like kawaii all of that style, I am probably in like a cheesy pop music and like J-pop, like J-pop kind of mood, like that, you know, that's probably the kind of music I'm listening to. Like you can definitely kind of gauge like what I'm into going by that. So yeah, it's definitely a thing, but it's not even just music, it's like everything, like even down to like what I eat sometimes will be influenced by the different types of styles. But it's I don't know, and like the things that like my hobbies, places I like to go, all of these things fit into nice little categories that go along with each style. It's not something I'm doing on purpose, it's just the way my brain seems to think things go. So yeah, that is definitely a thing with me. What cheesy pop do you enjoy? I can tell you're a 90s pop princess. Yeah, that's not like, that's not a secret. Like a lot. I mean, I have a bunch of Spotify playlists that are like public if you want to see the kind of music. Hold on. Yeah, if you want to like have a nosy through my music, I have a bunch of different Spotify playlists, and among them that would have like the cheesy stuff, I guess there's Cheesy Pop Nightmare, which, you know, does what it says on the tin. And I think there's also like an cheesy 80s playlist. I think it's just called Heck Yeah 80s. And there might be like uplifting cheese as well, which is very like power ballady. But yeah, so there's a bunch of that stuff. So if you want to have a nosy at that, that'll give you like a good look at the kind of pop crap that I enjoy. I haven't been in that kind of mood in a really long time though. It's been actually ages since I've been in the mood to listen to any sort of like, you know, like that pop music. So it'll come around again eventually. It's just not what I'm feeling right now, I guess. Song that you forget that you love. Literally everything by System of a Down. I don't know why, but like I always like just kind of forget they exist, but then whenever I hear them again, I'm like, yes! Yes! And I just want to listen to like everything they've ever done. I really enjoy their music, but I always forget. I'll have to like pop it into one of my Spotify playlists. That's how I remind myself to listen to things, because otherwise I will just forget. I'll forget every band I ever loved. So playlists have been a good way for me to keep on top of stuff, so I just need to figure out which one System of a Down goes into. Can you recommend a song that you think tells a really good story and has a lot of emotion behind it? I have the perfect song for that question. You want something that's like a real like story-based song? There is a song called The Girl with April in Her Eyes. It's by Chris de Burgh, and it is beautiful, and it really is just like a story set to music, and it's so, oh, I just goosebumpy, and it's like really sad but really sweet, and just, yeah, absolutely, if you're looking for something like that, The Girl with April in Her Eyes, Chris de Burgh. Fantastic. Would you rather listen to 90s music or current music? Sweet Jesus, please just give me 90s music. There's almost nothing that is current that I like. There are so few bands that are like recent bands that I actually enjoy. So yes, I will take the 90s. Are there any new genres of music that you've recently discovered? So probably, but the thing is I don't really pay attention to genre. I don't really know how to tell which songs fall into different genres. Like I have a massive playlist that has like some of my favorite music on this earth. I couldn't tell you what genre like half of it belongs to. It's not something I've ever focused on. It's just like, there's a song I like, and that's kind of the end of it. I've never been a genre oriented person, and I really don't have an ear for music. I can't tell the little subtle like differences in like instruments or like what, I don't know what even makes a song fit a genre, but you know what I mean. I just don't have the ear for that, so I literally have no idea. I have almost certainly found new genres that I like recently, but I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't know genres. I don't know what makes a song fit a genre. I don't know what genre half of the bands I love are. It's just, I just listen to music. Do you like black metal? Not that I'm aware. I couldn't think of a single band that I would assume would fall under the category of black metal that would be my thing. It's just not for me. Have you ever met a band member? I have met quite a few actually. I think most significantly we met the entirety of Lordi, and they were all super sweet, especially like Mr. Lordi himself. He is just like a really, really nice dude. So yeah, that was fun. We met the entire band and like they signed our ticket, and like Mr. Lordi drew like a thing on my arm and everything. It was a really good night. And finally, how do you go about finding new music? Honestly, like Spotify should really sponsor me because I'm about to like sing their praises here. But so for like years and years, I really didn't find any new music. I had like the stuff I listened to in high school, and I really didn't stray very far outside of that because I was just set in my ways, and I was like, this is what I like. And every time someone like recommended a band to me, it was always something I didn't enjoy. Like I said, you know, people would be like, oh my god, you would love Motionless in White, and I listened to it and I was like, eh. So yeah, like I find it hard to find new music that I enjoyed. Spotify has made it so much easier for me to find stuff that I actually like, because, you know, I went on and I made like a big playlist of like all the music that I knew that I enjoyed. And then it has a little section that's like, hey, based on the stuff you've put in this playlist, you might like this song and you can listen to it. And I just slowly added like new stuff from there, and I was like, yes, no, yes. So that's like the best way I found. Plus, like, I have a bad habit of like finding a new band, listening to it and be like, that was really great, I really like that. And I'll forget they ever existed and I'll never listen to them again. So adding them into my little playlists has meant, you know, they come back up. I'll be listening to it on shuffle and the song come up and I'm like, oh, I like that. What's that again? Ah, yes, that band. So yeah, like that's really helped me in actually finding new music and not just sticking to the stuff that I've listened to since I was like 14. I feel like I had another point there. Oh, and then the other thing is I actually quite often will find new music I like because it's used in a soundtrack for something, like a movie or a TV show or a video game will use a certain song, and I'll be like, ooh, and I end up really liking it, and then I find it, and then that's how I find it. So yeah, mostly Spotify, but every now and again I'll hear something like somewhere else in the world and I'm like, what's that? And then it makes its way into my musical taste. So yeah. Okay, so that is the end of this Q&A. I do hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed talking music with me and getting a little peek into my brain. I hope I answered some of your questions. I'm sorry if you asked me a question and I didn't answer it. I did my best. My goodness, for fuck's sake. My mum just sent me a message with, talk to me, daughter. I'm sitting here with 2 butch broomsticks, not wanting to disturb them in case I piss them off. What's the problem? Okay. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Remember to leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. You know, like, do you share any of the same kind of feelings about music that I do? I would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a little thumbs up. It's always nice to see, especially if you're usually a ghost viewer. It's just a good way to interact with the video. If you're new here, do consider subscribing. We have a whole bunch of other videos for you to check out, see what you think, join the family. We'd love to have you. And speaking of join the family, if you want to join the family like an extra level, you can check out my Patreon. It is the best possible way to support this channel and keep the videos coming, keep the streams coming, and all of the rest. YouTube is not particularly supportive of its creators. Thankfully, you guys are, so that is down in the description if you want to have a look and read about it and see what it's all about. I have a couple more videos to record. I'm going to get on with them, and then I'm going downstairs where it's warm. So until next time, have a lovely evening or day or whatever it is where you are, and bye!